Hey all, it's Laurence from Laurence Creates, and welcome back to the 5th episode in our Making a Game Engine with Google Skia. Now, in this video, I did say in the last video that we were going to be working on more like drawing functionality. However, I realized that there's a couple of important things we need to do first. One of them being delta time, and the next one being an FPS. So in this video, instead of doing the extra draw functionality, I'm gonna be showing you guys how we can implement a delta time and how we can implement an FPS. And in the next video, we're basically gonna be doing what I said in the last video. So I've also come to a realization. I was sort of going through everything in my head before, and I realized that there's probably a lot more videos than just my original estimate of 4 or 5. Because we still have to do stuff like animations, still have to do stuff like collision detection, and with the Velcro physics, I believe it also has an inbuilt raycast, so we can also set up some raycast. Now, I also got a comment stating if I'm going to be doing some UI, buttons, text, all that fancy stuff. Yes, that is also planned. So in terms of how many videos we got left, I actually don't know. I'm just gonna keep making a video here and there, and eventually we'll finish what we want to get done. But yeah, for today's video, we're gonna be doing delta time and FPS. So we want a few things. The first being some date times. Now I'm just gonna make these ones private. Date time, I'm going to call this one first, and it's going to be equal to datetime.now. Next one is going to be private datetime second, and that's going to, that's going to be equal to the same thing, datetime.now. All right, so in our renderer, sorry, excuse me, before we start anything, before the draw call, before any of the logic, we want to have our second equal to datetime.now. And next we actually want to calculate our delta. So we have float delta time equal to our second dot tick. Take away our first dot tick. And this is going to be divided by 100,000. Let me see. This is 100,000. Then we have million. Okay, I think it's like that many zeros. 10 million looks like. Okay. So once we have that, oh, also make sure you make this value a float. So, but just putting an F at the end. If you don't make this a float, it's gonna end up giving you whole numbers instead of what we want, which is a delta time. Okay, so after everything now, we're gonna say first is equal to second. Then now we should actually get a delta. So if we say console.writeLine and we say delta time, should actually get the delta time printing now. Yeah, there we go. So this can now be used in physics calculations or whenever you move an object. So now you have a delta time. And so the way we're going to handle this is in the before and after. It's yeah, before and after we're gonna have float delta, and then we're gonna pass through the delta time. Wait a second. Did I misspell it? I did. Alright, that's gonna be delta time, not delta timma, whatever I had there. Yeah, so before and after has the delta time. So we will leave this comment out, and instead what we'll do is float delta, and same thing. So first we'll start off with the before draw. I'm just going to say console.writeLine, and I'm just going to pass in delta. This should give us a delta time. Yes, it does. It's still looking like it's the same. And then just to test it in the after draw, do the same thing. And it's looking the same. That's great. So now you can access delta time in the after and before draw functions. So now we want to work on our FPS counter. And this is pretty simple. We want another private date time. And this is, I think I'm going to call this last time is equal to date time dot now. Next, we want a private this one we're gonna make public. This is gonna be an int, and I'm gonna call this one in all uppercase FPS. And we are just gonna start this off as 0. And then this next one is gonna be a private, and again an int, and we're gonna call it frames rendered. Let's make it equal to 0 again. Okay, so I'll just split that up so we know. So this is what we need for our FPS counter now. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. So underneath our sufferal delta, we want to increment on our frames rendered. So just plus plus, and then we're gonna say if another bracket within that date time dot now. Take away our last time. We want to get the what's happening here? I think there's an extra bracket where we don't need to. Dot. I lost my train of thought. What was it? Total seconds. Oops. Nope. Dot total seconds. We want that if it's equal to or greater than 1. And then we want to do our FPS logic. So our FPS is going to be equal to our frames rendered. And then we change our frames rendered, make it equal to 0. And then our last time is going to be equal to datetime.now. What did I do here? This needs to be a 1. All right, so now we have an FPS counter. So if we go to our demo game now, and in any of the draw calls, we can just say console.writeLine, and let's just call FPS. And we should get our FPS now. Here we go. So we have 241 FPS, fluctuating back and forth. That would probably end up changing depending on, we're changing the screen size. You'll see that it moves as we do that, but it goes back to normal. But again, change the window size, and you can see it's changing accordingly. So there we have it. We have a delta time and an FPS. So I know it was a quick video, but I think that's all I really wanted to get done in this video. We got our delta time and FPS. So now we're kind of ready for anything physics-based. Instead of just adding a force of 5,000, we can, times up by delta. So if we just have a play, yeah, you can see it's moving. Now, we do need to sort of fix the scale of our forces because, you don't really want to be typing 500,000 every time you want to add a force. So I kind of need to look into this. I feel like I may have missed a step when it came to the settings up here, but it's okay. I'll figure it out. and we'll adjust the world sort of scaling to make it a little bit easier to read. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video on how we added delta time and FPS. If you like the video, please give it a like. I'd appreciate that so much. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. And remember to add that bell notification so that you can get notifications on any of the new videos that I make for this series. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.